Folks, when you have college professors teaching college students to hate America and support terrorism, you get what we have here now. I'm talking about 15, 20 universities right now have riots going on, protests going on, even here in Texas at the University of Texas in Austin. People fighting with the police because they support the pro-terrorist, pro-Hamas, pro-Iran, anti-American rhetoric that is going on in this country, in the classrooms, overseas and across the world. And I hate to see young people that are pamphlet protesters turn a stupid moment in history into a viral moment that catches on in such a way that most people don't realize what they're defending or supporting, including raping, pillaging, murder, torture, all the things that come along with being in a terrorist faction. I don't think most of these college kids understand, especially these transgenders, understand a thing about the Islamic religion or how these fundamentalists and zealots believe when they chant "Death to America." But at any rate, John Lovitt's one of the first I've seen in Hollywood come out and just speak against the violence, against the negativity, against the fact that the colleges are not handling their business very well. If the teachers are promoting this, the professors are out there getting arrested with the students. It was bound to happen, and it's bound to get worse before it gets better, but it's bound to blow up in the faces of everybody involved before it's all said and done. And my whole thing about this is I'm curious as to how the America-hating media, mainstream media, will continue to cover this as the violence ramps up. We're fixing to find out just how much mainstream media really hates America. I know they lie to us each and every day, but will they support the terrorists and the violence over the Jewish students and the American people that just want to live peaceably? Who really knows, folks? But that will be one of the tests we will be going through, or they will be going through, as this chaos unfolds. Now, I'm going to go ahead and play this all the way through. Everything he says is absolutely right, and I agree with him 100%. Tell me what you think in the comment section down below about none other than how this situation is going, how it probably will play out. And to be honest, do you think we will have to be in this situation until Trump gets back? You think the Biden administration will just pee down their leg until Trump gets back in there and is able to send in the National Guard or whatever is necessary to protect the sanctity of human life, all life, including the Jewish students at these colleges? Here we go, folks.
Let's bring in actor and comedian John Lovitt. John, what do you see happening across the country?
Well, it's what I was told growing up by my father, that the Jews in Germany were German first, and they couldn't believe this was happening, and they didn't believe it. And there's a book called Night that Elie Wiesel wrote about the Holocaust, and he was 15 years old, and he said there was a guy in his little village who was something wrong with him, but he was the village idiot and just would say crazy stuff, and nobody would listen to him. And one day the guy disappeared for 4 days, and then he popped back up, and he said his hair was wild, and he was screaming. He goes, "They're putting all the Jews on trains and taking them and killing them," and nobody believed him because he was the village idiot. And you hear this growing up, and it's happening again. And I still think a lot of Jewish people are in disbelief. And they go, "You're a Jewish American." I go, "No, I'm an American, and I happen to be, my religion is Jewish, and I happen to be a comedian, but I'm an American citizen, and I don't know how this can't be upsetting to everybody." And I don't understand it, because Israel is a democracy like we are, and Israel is our ally. So what don't you get? And secondly, the students on Columbia blocking Jewish kids from going into school. I tweeted something about it because I mean, I went to college, and I can't imagine having to deal with this. I was 18, and I lived in a fine arts dorm, and everybody had a different ethnic background: Chinese, Mexican, African American. I'm Jewish. We would have dinner together every night. We would roast each other about it. And then I'd say, but it doesn't mean anything. We're starting our lives. You want to be a singer. You want to be a painter. You want to be an actor. I want to be an actor, you know. And I'm thinking, these kids are in high school. They worked their butt off to get into a great school like Columbia, and now they have to deal with this, and it's horrible. So I said I wanted to say something to help them, you know. And like you said, it's like weeds. If you don't nip it in the bud, it's just going to keep spreading and get worse and worse. And we've seen it get worse and worse.
Yeah, we sure
so I feel
have.
compelled
we have
to say
seen it
something.
get as worse as it possibly can be. You heard the gentleman at the top.
It can get way worse.
Absolutely. You heard him at the top say, you know, I couldn't go on campus and burn a cross and chant KKK and prevent black students from getting to class. Why do you think, or about anybody, about transgender people, gay people,
well, what
women,
you said about,
why
yeah.
is it different with Jewish students?
I don't know. I think people like, you know, who are Jewish like myself are naive and thought, oh, there's not all this anti-Semitism. I think it's always been there. It's just coming out. But what you kind of said about, you know, you respect everybody, whatever their religion, whatever their race, you respect everybody. That's what Judaism, the religion, is about, is respecting life and people. And I still think, you know, people have a right to protest peacefully, and they have a, you know, normally you'd get a permit and then you get a place to protest. Right. I don't know why they're allowed to do it on the school, and I don't know how people that aren't students are just camping out in the middle of the school. They should be like, isn't that trespassing? Yeah. I don't understand.
What I don't understand is you have the President of the United States, you have the White House, they won't even touch this. Do you expect more from the leadership in this country?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think anyone doing this against anybody like this should stop it. I mean, preventing students from going to class, it's ridiculous. It happened to a friend of mine. I was speaking to her this morning. She has one kid at Duke University, and she has another kid at Cornell. At Duke University, months ago, they started doing a protest, and they nipped it in the bud and said, no, you can't do that here. And they've had no problems since. Cornell didn't. They've had all these problems. Her daughter couldn't go to class. She couldn't take a test. And the teacher wouldn't respond to her, and she had trouble retaking it and finally got to. But it's bad. And you know, I don't know why people say, why are you speaking up? Why aren't other people in Hollywood who are way bigger names than me not saying anything? And my answer is, I don't know. I think they're afraid, or they're afraid they're going to lose it'll hurt their business. But I feel like it's so bad that you, like, how can you not say something? Like, you have to. And then, you know, people go, well, who are you? I go, hey, look at, you asked me to come on the show. I'm not out there with a megaphone. You know what I mean? But
well,
I appreciate the opportunity to say something.
You're being very humble to say there's not a lot of names out there bigger than Jon Lovitt. Jon, thank you so much for joining.